Hello everyone, welcome to my final assignment for the English course. My name is Shania. Due to distance constraints, I am conducting this interview online via Zoom. Today's topic is job and responsibility. I am connected with Mr. Dandy. He is currently at his family's palm oil plantation in South Sumatra. He works there as an operational supervisor, managing the family business directly. Hello, Mr. Dandy. Can you hear me clearly?
Hello, Shania. Yes, the audio is clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course I can. Thank you for joining me online. Let's dive straight into the topic. Mr. Dendi, managing a family-owned plantation places a huge responsibility on your shoulders. Could you briefly describe your roles and how you start your operational planning?
Certainly. As a supervisor in a family plantation business, I wear many hats. So my core responsibility is research allocation. Every morning, I analyze the field data to determine the harvest round, or we call it here as pusingan panen. So I must decide which blocks are ready to be harvested today and ensure the workers have the necessary tools, or else, if the planning is wrong, the fruit will rot on the trees, and that's not what we want here.
That sounds critical. Once the
Mhm.
workers are in the field, what is your main responsibility regarding the quality of the harvest?
My main focus in the field is loss prevention. So I'm responsible for ensuring the extraction rate is high. This means I have to supervise the harvesters to collect all the loose fruits, or you may know it as a brondolan. So brondolan or loose fruits is they contain the highest oil content. If they are left on the ground, my family lose direct profit, and so I also ensure they stack the fronts or proper correctly to keep the plantation accessible.
Okay, I understand that your family operates its own trucks. How do you manage the logistic responsibility from the field to the factory?
Yes, we own the fleet. So my responsibility is fleet synchronization. I have to calculate the estimated tonnage of the harvest and match it with the truck capacity. We cannot overload the trucks because it will damage the suspension, and but also we cannot underload them because it will increase the fuel cost per tons. So I must ensure the efficiency in every trip.
The final technical step is selling the fruit, right? What is your responsibility
Mhm.
during the transaction process?
Mm. This is the most sensitive part because here I'm responsible for delivery verification. When the drivers return with the weighbridge ticket, I cross-check it with our field notes, and I have to analyze if there is any weight shrinkage, and if the weight difference is too high, I must investigate immediately to prevent fraud or errors.
Okay, now let's talk about the people. Managing plantation isn't just about trees and trucks. It involves managing
Mm.
workers. What is your responsibility when there is a conflict or a disciplinary issue among the team?
Mm. That is the challenging part indeed. So my responsibility is to act as a mediator. Sometimes disputes happens regarding harvesting territory or pace calculation. And so here I must be fair but firm. I listen to both sides and resolve the issue immediately to maintain the workplace harmony. And if I ignore small conflict, then they can disrupt the whole operation, and that's bad.
Okay, one last question, Mr. Dandy. Since this is your family's business, does that change how you view your responsibilities compared to a regular employee?
Definitely. The sense of responsibility is heavier. I treat every tree and every tools as a long-term asset. I'm not just working for a salary. I'm working to sustain this business for the future generation. So I tend to be more detailed and stricter in my supervision.
That's a wonderful perspective. It is clear that your role covers the entire life cycle from technical planning to managing human resources, driven by a strong sense of ownership. Thank you so much, Mr. Dandy, for joining this Zoom session. That
My
concludes
pleasure,
our
Shania.
interview. That concludes our interview. In the next part of this video, I will present my summary slides based on Mr. Dandy's explanation. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon. Welcome to my final presentation for the English course. My name is Shania. Today, I am proud to present my interview report. This presentation is based on an in-depth interview regarding the role of an operational supervisor in the palm oil industry. First, let me begin by explaining why I chose this topic and who my interview is. I decided to explore the concept of responsibility within a family-owned business context. Unlike corporate employees, who often work in silos, a supervisor in a family business carries a heavier burden, a mix of professional duty and personal ownership. To understand this, I interviewed Mr. Dandy via Zoom. He is the operational supervisor at his family's palm oil estate in South Sumatra. I chose him because his role is unique. He is the right-hand man of the owner, managing everything from the soil to the sales. This makes his perspective on responsibility very holistic and insightful. From our discussion, I learned that Mr. Daly's responsibilities are not limited to just watching workers. His role covers the entire operational life cycle. To make it easier to understand, I have categorized his responsibilities into five key pillars. First, planning, which involves resource allocation, field execution, focusing on loss prevention, logistics, dealing with fleet synchronization, financial control, verifying sales data, and the last one, leadership, managing human resources and conflict. So let's dive into the first pillar. The first pillar is strategic planning. Mr. Daly explained that his day starts with resource allocation. His main responsibility here is determining the harvest run or pusingan panen. Every morning, he analyzes the field data to decide exactly which blocks are ready to be harvested. This is a critical responsibility. If his planning is wrong, for example, if the harvest is delayed by even 2 days, the fruit will become overripe. Overripe fruits have high acid content, which lower the selling price. Therefore, his planning directly dictates the quality of the product. Moving on to the execution piece and the field. Here, Mr. Dennis' responsibility shifts to loss prevention. He emphasized that his biggest target is maximizing the extraction rate. To do this, he strictly supervises the collection of loose fruit or gondola. Many people don't realize that these small loose fruits contain the highest oil content. If workers are lazy and leave them on the ground, the estates lose direct profit. So Mr. Dennis' duty is to ensure every single fruit is collected and that the plantation sanitation is maintained through proper fund stacking. The third pillar is logistics. Since the family operates its own fleet of trucks, Mr. Denny is also responsible to fleet synchronization. This is a balancing act. He has to calculate the estimate harvest tonnage and match it with the truck's capacity. He explained a specific challenge. If he overloads the truck, he risks damaging the suspension and increasing maintenance costs. If he underloads the trucks, the fuel costs per ton increase, making the trip inefficient. His responsibility is to find the perfect sweet spot to every trip to ensure cost efficiency. Next is the fourth pillar, financial control. This is where the operation turns into money. Mr. Dandy acts as the final gatekeeper. When the trucks return from the factory, he is responsible for delivery verification. He cross-checked the reach ticket from the factory against his own field estimate. His goal is to analyze weight shrinkage or susu bobot. If the difference is too high, he investigates immediately. This responsibility is crucial to prevent fraud, theft, or administrative errors that could harm the family's revenue. The final pillar, and perhaps the most challenging one, is leadership. Managing trees is easy, but managing people is hard. Mr. Dennis shared that his responsibility includes acting as a mediator. In a plantation, conflicts often arise regarding harvesting priorities or pay calculation. His approach is to be fair but firm. He believes that his duty is not just to give orders, but to maintain workplace harmony. By resolving conflict quickly, he ensures that the team remains productive and focused on their target. Based on the interview, here's my personal analysis. What impressed me the most was the sense of ownership that Mr. Dandy displayed. Unlike a regular employee who might just work for a salary, Mr. Dandy views every tree and every tool as a long-term asset. He teaches us that true responsibility goes beyond a job description. It is about sustainability. He is working not just for today's profit, but to ensure the business survives for the next generation. This mindset makes his supervision much more detailed and disciplined compared to standard practices. To conclude my presentation, the role of an operational supervisor is multidimensional. It is a complex integration of agronomy managing the corps, logistics managing the fleet, finance verifying sales, and psychology managing people. Mr. Dandy has shown us that great responsibility requires great discipline and integrity. That brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time and attention.